What's going on, everybody out there? It's Joe Morley with Juan from the Max and Juancast, and guess what? It's Raider Nation time.
Raiders.
I know a lot of people are like, we don't want to listen to the Raiders. Well, guess what? This is nothing but Raiders. All Raiders 24/7 from me and Juan right now. Lifelong Raider fans, right?
Yes, sir.
If you want, we can get into that a little bit later and tell us like what made us come to that. But I'm just excited because we're going to be here all season long, every Wednesday, giving you our likes, our dislikes, what we're pissed off about as fans, and we're not going to hold anything back. You want to hold anything back, Juan?
Hell no, I'm a Raider fan, bro. I wouldn't have it any other way, dog. No way.
Raider fans coming no holds bar for you guys. I'm just being real right off the start. But you know what? Let's hit that intro. Ooh, that's beautiful.
Hey, man, that intro gave me goosebumps, man.
You got all ready for it? You're like, ooh, nice.
Hell yeah.
I like it because it shows, Raider fans are some of the most loyal fans in the NFL. Like it or not, what are people always mad about? They're mad about the Raider fans and their loyalty. And like, no matter if we're losing, stadium's full. We're still yelling. We're still yelling. Like you just said, Raiders, we're yelling. I went to Charger camp last week I took Mike down there. We went to Charger camp. I heard more Raider chants than I heard Charger chants. And then I was laughing because we're standing there in line and there's you're on the street and you're standing there in line to go into camp. Yeah. And people were just driving by yelling Raiders. And I was like, that's right. That's right. Raider Nation represents anywhere and everywhere that we are.
There's nothing like it, bro. Like I always love to say, there's only one nation, and that's Raider Nation. There's no duplicators of this shit, bro.
Hell no. People could try. You could try to become, but you'll never replicate the Raider Nation, like you said. Raider Nation are strong. We already got haters in the chat, and that's cool. That's what we're here for. We're here for the Raider lovers and the Raider haters.
Yes, sir.
This show is gonna blow. Yeah, all right. Raiders are super good at football. The Undertaker theme is a sign of that the franchise will rest in peace. All right. No, yeah. All jokes aside, Juan and I coming together, bringing them up. You guys check Juan out, Max and Juancast. Also, great guys. Bradley Winter, what's going on? Same old sports. I know this ain't the Giants, but this is Raider talk, and we're gonna get down to it. We got some good stuff coming up. Nice intro. Not a Raider fan, but I'm here for it. I appreciate it. We appreciate that coming up. All right, let's dive right in, Juan. Let's dive right in. Raiders and Rams. Raiders and Rams are doing joint practices this week, and it's in LA. It's it got kind of heated. Nobody really saw anything. There's a little bit of clips coming out here and there, but they said Hunter, or you know what? Let me. I jumped ahead of myself. I better calm down a little bit. Sorry. Let me pull this up right here. First, we had Kenyon Drake get taken off the field. He returned to practice, though. I mean, everybody was losing their mind, but he returned to practice. He was running, but he was limping, but he seemed okay. You good with Kenyon Drake? Did he calm him down a little bit?
We'll be all right without him anyways. I mean, as long as it's not Josh Jacobs on the cart.
New haircut. No, I didn't get a new haircut. Okay, so yeah, that's my thing. Josh Jacobs still there. We'll get into it later of what we saw in the preseason game from the other running backs. But yeah, Kenyon Drake, he'll be all right. I think if he's ready for week 1, we'll be okay. We're still a long way from there. Happy birthday to Coach John Gruden. Yesterday, he turned 58 years old. Does he even look 58?
Hey, John's pretty good for his age for 58, man. He's under 60 still. I mean, he looks better than Pete Carroll, man. Pete Carroll's pretty old, man.
Because
I
Pete
know that
Carroll's
$100 million contract make you look young too.
he's like living in Vegas, getting all those facial treatments. He's
Yeah.
good. And then here it is. Here's where I jumped. Here's where I jumped the gun. Hunter Henry was getting the best of Rams cornerback James Ramsey or Jalen Ramsey. I call him James Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey today, getting the best of him. I know that you saw this news. I know that you saw this, and it was all over Twitter. People were saying that because I noticed this when I went to Rams camp that Ramsey's not playing the outside no more. He's all over. Well, he finally got to meet a great slot receiver today. And from what I heard, I don't know how much you've read into this. From what I heard is the Raiders are doing the joint practice, right?
Yeah.
And Jalen Ramsey didn't take it as practice. He was coming in laying people out. At one point he hit Josh Jacobs so hard Josh Jacobs' helmet came off. And then Foster Monroe and the rest of the team got in Jalen Ramsey's face. And then that's when it started. That's when they said both sidelines started talking trash. And then that's when John Gruden got into it and started making these play calls where Hunter Henry was going to make Jalen Ramsey look bad.
Yeah.
Is that what you've read?
Yeah, I've read something similar to that about how, they were getting in the fights and Jalen Ramsey was hitting people. But I mean, Hunter Renfrow, bro, AKA I like to call him Sticky Icky because the dude's hands is like the stick 'em back in the day. That's how Hunter Henry rolls, bro. And he was killing Jalen Ramsey today. And I don't care if it was training camp. I don't care if it was preseason. I love to hear shit like that, bro. Like I love to hear it because it makes me feel better as a Raider fan that we're not getting clapped up out there. Because I seen it earlier. Some reel that got posted on Matthew Stafford throwing like a dime to I forgot who it was, but someone was already commenting like Raiders already getting beat. You know what I mean? So I don't care. Everyone else wants to blow everything out of proportion. So I'm gonna blow this out of proportion.
Yeah, everybody blows it out of proportion, and then we're gonna do the same damn thing because we're Raider fans. And we got something that we can hold on to. Josh Jacobs is underrated. Oh, I'm not supposed to send that. Oh, why post it? I don't know. I think the show. You love the show title. Former Chargers tight end. What are you doing, Mike? We don't care about Chargers. This is Raider talk. Yeah, I'm gonna blow that up. I'm gonna blow that camp up. And okay, this is what I heard. I heard Jalen Ramsey was making like 30-yard, or was Hunter Henry was making man. Woo!
You got too much Charger camp on you, bro. It's all right. It's all right.
Putting all this Charger crap into me.
They're trying to contaminate you, bro. Don't go. Stay on the dark side.
We had to get that Charger stuff out of here and bring this. So Hunter Renfrow was like just catching 30-yard passes here and there. And then all of a sudden, John Gruden called one out and called a deep pass, and he just burned Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey's going to cry in the car, right? He's going to cry in the car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think he already did because I pulled these tweets off of Twitter earlier. So I guess Hunter Henry came out and he says, if I can beat Jalen Ramsey, I can beat anybody in the NFL because he's one of the best. He beat me a couple of times too today. So he's giving credit there, right?
Yeah, such a Hunter Renfrow just statement right there. Like,
just look at him in that picture. Look at Hunter Renfrow. Like, he's like, oh, whatever.
He doesn't want nothing to do with this. He's just like, whatever. I'm just going out there and fucking playing football.
And then Jalen Ramsey came and cried. I told you he was going to cry in the car. He's doing it on Twitter.
My goodness.
He said, I can't believe that y'all believe half the BS that people say for clicks. Y'all got to know at this point and do better than that. It's all love. I ain't going to pop my shit, but just know I'm really the chosen one. Thank you, God. Y'all enjoy your day, though, because I know I am. Even though haters, I'm still hope y'all enjoying your day and I go make some money.
Oh my goodness. I love Jalen Ramsey. I think he's the best corner in the league by far. But I don't know, man. That statement does not sit well with me. The whole I make more money than you and all this and that. I can care less, bro. Like, take it as a challenge. Like, shut up. Don't even tweet about it. You're probably gonna have one more day of practice and go out there and fucking kill Hunter Renfrow. Like, we all know you can, but your ass was probably, all sloppy today, and Hunter Renfrow made him pay.
And look, I mentioned it earlier. I went to Rams camp last week, and the one guy I fell in love with was Jalen Ramsey. The size of him, where he was going, the speed of him, and now a week later, I'm like, yeah, Hunter Renfrow killed that guy, beat him down. Yeah. But the way that, I mean, I still like him, and do I believe that Hunter Renfrow can beat him, play in and play out? Probably not. There's a point where Jalen Ramsey is going to shut him down. Can Hunter Renfrow make some plays? Hell yes, he can. Yeah. But for Jalen Ramsey to come out here, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. That's a bitch move. Yeah. Like you said, if the only thing that you have is I make a lot of money, I'm rich, you guys shut your mouth and go do what you got to do to be me. That's a bitch move. I'm gonna say it right now.
And it makes him look even worse because Hunter Renfrow is not a shit talker. Like, how stupid do you look just saying all of that when the dude's not even talking about you? Like, the guy just beat you and was like, yeah, I got him a couple times today and I bet he beat me a couple reps. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it wasn't worth tweeting about it again. Like, that's just a guy with a low self-esteem in my book. He's still great at football. You know what I mean? It's like the Kevin Durant thing. Like, I think he's a bitch. I think like he's low self-esteem, but he's a hell of a basketball player. Like, that doesn't make a difference. But I mean, Jalen Ramsey, you gotta do better than that, man. You gotta do. Don't let Hunter Renfrow get under your skin like that.
No, that's and like you said, you're good, man. You're good enough to go out there, put your head down, and go beat Hunter Renfrow tomorrow because there's going to be practice tomorrow. Another thing I heard from that camp, and we want to move away from that, is I heard the Raiders had no answer for Aaron Donald. And that's the main concern. I know a lot of people are talking about that offensive line, and we'll get into debt later on our shows for that. But is that a concern for you, or are you just
who doesn't have a problem with that dude? It doesn't surprise me at all. I think it's great for Andre James and Simpson and Incognito, all the boys up front in the middle, to get some reps against Aaron Donald. I mean, of course you're going to lose, but who doesn't lose against Aaron Donald? I don't even think the best guard in football can stop Aaron Donald. So it doesn't surprise me. I'm just glad that they're getting reps against really good competition, the best of the best.
Yeah, Andre James needs that, and why not? But on the flip side, I heard that Rams had no answer for Darren Waller. So
I seen clips of that too. I seen a clip that on Darren Waller getting a touchdown on I think it was the Raiders Instagram. So Darren Waller balling out, and he came off an injury. He was hurt for a little bit there.
And I saw some other clips, and I kind of don't want to give it away because I know that we're going to talk about them later on, and I might bring it up then. So I'll hold it in. But there's more from today's practice that I saw, and I'll bring it up when we start talking about them. How about that? And that could be our leeway into the week 1 preseason game against Seattle. The Raiders didn't start a lot of people. They had a lot of backups. Seattle didn't start anybody, so it was a normal preseason game. You're like, it was a W, right? And I know like some people got on me. They're like, you're a preseason game, Joe. And I go, I don't care. Win's a win. I go, if they would have lost, I'd have been pissed off too. Trust me.
Yeah.
Were you excited about the win? Glad that they put the W on the board?
I mean, you're always glad to see them win. To me, I always like looking at the preseason for the first half. Like, let's win the first half. Like, that's the way I look at it. If we do lose, I look to see how we did with at least the starters. This game was a little bit different, like you said, a whole bunch of backups, but they got it done. Like you said, like, just win, baby. That's all. That's all we got to do. We got to just win. And Nate Peterman, aka the GOAT, aka Bottleneck, out there diming up, bro. Like, he was dropping bread in the basket, bro. Like, Zay Jones was balling out. A couple of the like just receivers in general, like Keelan Doss was out there, and a whole bunch of guys like that. But I like what I seen from the offense. The defense is kind of what scared me at times. Just I felt like the tackling should be a lot better because when you get a new defensive coordinator and Gus Bradley, like the Raiders have never been good at tackling, as so to say. Like there's always guys breaking stuff, and that's like a fundamental thing. So that's something like I like to look for. I feel like the tackling was kind of like hit or miss that night, but I mean, we got the win. Some players look good, some players look bad as far as like we're gonna get into right now.
Yeah, and here's the main thing. Here's the main thing that before we get into like the players that we liked in the game, I wanted to see depth, and it showed this year that we have a little bit more depth than we've had in a while with these guys
on the offense for sure.
And then I wanted to see. This is what Gus Bradley, our new defense coordinator. I wanted to see people fly to the ball, and I don't know. I don't know if you saw the same thing I did, but it seemed like there was 3-4 people around the ball carrier every time that they threw the ball out there. It wasn't just one guy getting beat one-on-one. Now these guys were swarming over there, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take time to get there, but that's what I wanted to see out of it, and I got to see it, and that's what impressed me. The score is something else.
And we got to see like somewhat of some exotic stuff. You know what I mean? Because we all know Paul Gunther never freaking blitzed. He was so basic, always kept us in the base package. Like Gus Bradley was out there, he was blitzing safeties and he was having guys coming from different angles. I like to see stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get into your players of the week for week 1. And this is the guy that I was talking about, Zay Jones. I don't know if you saw the clips today of practice today. He was tearing it up against the Rams today.
I mean, the coaching staff has been talking about him nonstop. Zay Jones, a guy from Buffalo. We got him for a 6th-round pick. If our wide receivers weren't so stacked, and when I say stacked, you're probably saying like, oh, like, what are you saying, Juan? Like Henry Ruggs has improved than Brian Edwards. I know, but it's crazy to think like this guy's gonna be either the 3rd or 4th receiver on our roster because you got Edwards, you got Ruggs, you know John Brown's gonna get some reps, and then we're just talking about a guy in Hunter Renfrow. That's 4 guys already. That's probably for sure locks to make the roster. So this guy's fighting for a 5th string spot. And I think he's balling out, man. He's making it worth the coach's second look to really keep this guy. I mean, he has talent, bro, and I really like what I seen from the first game.
What did he finish with? He finished with 3 catches, 57 yards.
Yeah,
and he almost had
a touchdown.
Right there on there. But yeah, have you seen him get off the ground too? He can get off without touching the ground.
I've seen that. Yeah,
he does like a Michael Jackson move.
And then Bottleneck, bro. Bottleneck was out there almost the whole game. I thought he did really good. I know Gruden's a big fan of him, but I thought he did a really good job out there. Do I think he's going to be the starter or Carr should be scared? No. But you got to acknowledge that he had a good game. Nate Peterman, a.k.a. Bottleneck. Nate Hobbs had a play taken away from him, but on that blitz that I was talking about, some exotic stuff by Gus Bradley, dude came off the edge and freaking laid out Geno Smith, a.k.a. gets punched in the jaw for lunch money. But he killed Geno Smith. I was hoping that play was going to stand and that the Raiders were going to get the ball, but I think they overturned it. But I like what I seen from Nate Hobbs. And then Trey Vegas, a.k.a. Trey Vegas, getting into the end zone a couple of times. He looked good with the opportunities he got. A lot of these, like you said, like a little bit of depth coming out from the Raiders from that first game, because none of these guys are going to be key contributors on the squad.
Yeah, and we're not. Nathan Peterman's not going to beat out Marcus Mariota, but he went out there and threw the ball 40 times, and that's the one thing Charger fans are like, "Oh, Nathan Peterman, I remember him." Yeah, he's not the same old guy. It's good to see him go out there. He did throw a pick. He did get sacked a couple of times, but 40 times, like you never see a guy go out there and play the whole preseason game like he did, and I'll give him that. But like you said, he was dropping dimes. There was a couple of times where like he dropped one on the sideline. I was like, "That's Nathan Peterman." What?
I know.
What?
I was like, "Okay, Nate, I see you, bro."
But yeah, Regis, I was like, what? Who's this dude? 13 carries, 62 yards. He had his touchdown. Oh, look. But yeah, the guy on your list that I was the most impressed with, like you said, was Nate Hobbs. And now when he, ooh, when he laid that out, when he laid him out, like, and then they called the penalty, and I'm like, yeah, I figured it was
Yeah.
coming. But he took him out of the game. Like, I mean, you don't like to see people get knocked out of the game, but that's how big of a hit it was. And Hobbs is getting a lot of love from John Gruden this offseason. And they're
Yeah.
saying that could be our starting cornerback right there.
Like there's a lot of depth at safety this year. And I know we have a lot of young guys. Of course, you know the Trayvon Morig, like the first round guy from or the second round guy from TCU. A lot of people projected him as a first rounder. But there's another guy in Gillespie, like he's really good. And like we said, Nate Hobbs. Like those are three solid safeties that the Raiders drafted. And all three of those guys, as far as my draft grades, are at least like NFL starters. You know what I mean? Like I thought we got like really good safety depth right there in the draft. But I like what I seen from Hobbs so far. Hopefully Gillespie shows a little bit more than what we saw. And of course Trayvon Morig, he's probably gonna get some more time this week. So we'll see what he got too. He's the starter, so we gotta see something from him.
Yeah, and I'm sure this next game will be more of the starters in there, right? You would assume. I don't know how they're going to do it because there's
I
only
don't
three.
know. The one thing that scares me is that the Rams are notorious for not playing anyone. So usually these preseason games, the coaches go into them with a understanding of, okay, who are you going to play? Who, that's how you base it off of that. So if Sean McVay's like, yeah, I'm not going to play none of my starters, and Gruden's like, well, all right, it looks like I'm not going to put my first string guys against your second string guys. I don't know. Let's see what Gruden does, but it'll be surprising if they do play, because I don't think they are, because of Sean McVay and what he does with no starters.
Tell Ramsey to come on out.
I know, no, he's not gonna play nobody. McVay doesn't play anyone in the preseason. I hope he does. Don't get me. I hope he does. Hopefully, like the first stringers play, but Matthew Stafford. But we'll see.
They got Duck Hodges. He was a first stringer. Here, my player of the games aren't much different than yours. I still have Nathan Peterman and Hobbs, but I put a different wide receiver that I like, because was there somebody built up more than Keelan Doss, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
But he went out there. He made 6 catches, 55 yards. I thought he improved. He wasn't dropping as many balls that we normally see him do. So I did good. And then Javon White, or
Javin, something like that.
Javian, I don't know how to say his first name, and we're probably butchering some names here. I put Javon, but I should have been Javin, huh? He had 6 tackles, 5 solo, but it seemed like he was all over the field.
I mean, the dude got speed, man. He should be.
And he's a University of Las Vegas product, right?
Yeah, UNLV. So he was signed on last year, wound up getting hurt like during practice, like during like the first week or so. But the Raiders have been raving about this guy for ever since last year. So it's good to see him on the field finally. And I mean, he showed the speed. Former safety, he used to play safety. So you know how these linebackers are today's game. They're super fast. You gotta run like your head's on fire.
Same Old Sports says his Raider knowledge is expanding. That's right. We're
Yes,
going to bring you
sir.
from the Giant Love to the Raider Nation after this.
Oh,
I
man.
I think what the preseason it opens up, and I haven't got in there yet. Maybe I'm going a little bit off topic, but and just because of his comment right there, it makes me go like, a lot of people don't know the depth, and like we were talking about the depth on the Raiders team this year. It looks like they have a little bit more depth than what we've seen, which makes me believe that they're a better team, because good teams have a lot of quality depth, and that's what the Raiders have. And at the linebacker position, where White's not even the starting linebacker, and he's flying all over the field. Tanner Muse is a linebacker now. He went from safety to linebacker. He's all over the field. So
One thing that was interesting that I seen too. So a lot of the first string guys played on defense. Offense, the majority of the offensive guys sat as far as the first stringers. But the second, for the defense, the first stringers were out there. Like Morig was out there, Abram was out there, I believe Arnett was out there, and a lot of the defensive linemen. So where I'm getting to this is that right now the starters you would think will be what? Nicholas Morrow, Kwiatkowski, and Corey Littleton, right? Those are most Raider fans will say those are our three best linebackers. What I've heard so far is that Kwiatkowski's the odd man out, and they're going to wind up playing Nicholas Morrow, Littleton, and then the third guy is either going to be this guy Javon White or Tanner Muse from Clemson that we drafted last year. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about him. He can fly too.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm looking forward to. This is our defense has speed, and Gus Bradley's there. He's going to change it up. I know a lot of people will differ on Gus Bradley, but he's been top 10 or top 15 defense everywhere he's gone. These young kids and John Gruden and Mike Mayock come out and they said we spent a lot of draft picks on the secondary and these back end of our defense, and they need to start producing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good, but I want to see the rest of these preseasons. We're getting a little bit too hyped up for week 1 of the preseason. Well, that's what we do, right? We're fans. That's what
everyone, like I said, bro, everyone likes to overreact over there in San Francisco land, aka the freaking 40 whiners are out here freaking talking about Trey Lance and his deep ball. I don't care. I'm going to boast and brag about Nate Peterman when I want to. All right.
Yeah, you got your Trey Lance, we got Nathan Peterman. You guys calm yourself.
That shit, bro, doesn't it fucking kill you though that Greg Pop was the announcer for them now?
Yeah, and I put him on.
Oh my!
He's God. On the. I know he's on our intro, but it's still reminds me every time they go touchdown.
I know
Raiders.
It cut so deep in my soul last week when I was hearing them saying Trey Area. I'm just like, oh my gosh, man. Don't get me wrong. Like the Raiders announcer is not bad. Like he's well known. He's on the tip of my tongue. Freaking
Musburger.
Yeah, Bell. No, it's something like that. I mean, he's well known. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But Greg Papa just had another type of energy saying touchdown Raiders, man. And I mean, there's a lot of inside stuff with him leaving and not wanting to leave the Bay Area and freaking hating that the Raiders moved to Vegas, but. That shit hurts me that he went to the Niners, man, because I hate the Niners so much.
I hate the Niners too. We'll probably be bashing the Niners on here. It'll probably be like a Raider love show / Niner hate. But yeah, I'll call out other teams on here. We'll call the Chiefs out. We'll call the Broncos out on here. We'll call.
Oh yeah, that's all. Look, our division is automatic. You're automatically hated. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. You're gonna get hate.
Yeah, and we'll be here right there. But we're gonna take some this season too. You know that. But here are our players. These, we went through the first preseason game. We went through the news and notes. These are players that we're going to watch the rest of training camp. And then most of them are well known. But here's mine and yours. Henry Ruggs is who you chose. And I went with, it's funny because I went with another wide receiver and Brian Edwards. You went with Arnett and I went with Abram.
Look, those are all great choices, to be honest. Like Edwards and Abram, there's no debating that. The one thing with me that I see, especially with Arnett and Ruggs, is that with Ruggs, he was underwhelming last year. Let's just be real. Besides the freaking New York Jets miracle and the Chiefs bomb that he had when we beat the Chiefs, he didn't do anything. He looked small. He looked overpowered in the NFL. He did not show that same burst in speed and all that stuff that he was doing in Alabama. You just didn't see it. So he's one of those guys where this year in training camp, everyone's talking him up saying Henry Ruggs coming in shape. Henry Ruggs looks bigger. He looks like a beast in training camp, blah, 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 blah. I want to see it, man. This is a guy that we picked with a top 15 pick. First wide receiver taken out of that draft. A lot of other guys were on the board. And, Justin Jefferson, Jerry Jeudy, a lot of these guys. And I love Ruggs. I know I was supporting the pick when we did it. I still do support the pick because the Raiders have their own version of Tyreek Hill. But let's just see it, bro. Let's just see it. You got to produce. No excuses this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it just shows that we know that how important the wide receiver position is to the Raiders this year. So if it's Ruggs, if it's Edwards, if it's Zay Jones that we were talking about, if it's John Brown, somebody needs to step up in this position group. And Same Old Sports is with you. But yeah, it's just important. It just shows how important it is. I've been a Brian Edwards fan since he was in South Carolina, and I wanted the Raiders to draft him. And in that, and Henry Ruggs, I'm good with it. When they drafted Henry Ruggs, I was good with it. We took a lot of heat for it because Jerry Jeudy's the better route runner. CeeDee Lamb had that good rookie year. Justin Jefferson blew the cover off of everything. But yeah, Ruggs, and I get a lot of Raider fans come at me, and I try to pride myself on being a realist Raider fan, just like yourself. And I tell you, Henry Ruggs, when he was on the field, did he help us? Yes. When he was on the field, he helped us. There was times he was hurt and he was off the field. Then there was other times where he was just a distraction. And like you said, that Jets game was the biggest play he had, and that's what people are remembering. But Raider fans will sit here and fight me and say, Ruggs had a great year. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He had a good year. But it was not a first round draft pick year. Not what I expected from him.
That same game that he caught that touchdown pass, a lot of people don't even remember earlier in that game him fumbling, and he looked small. He wound up getting wrapped up by a linebacker and not even being able to recover his own fumble because his arms were so small and his frame is so small. He got overpowered. He had a horrible game besides that deep ball. Like, people just tend to forget it. Like, but I don't. You don't. It's something you got to keep track of, man.
There's a reason he went out and gained, what was it, 12 pounds of muscle?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So he beefed up. Brian Edwards doesn't have no excuses. He needs to be on the field.
Yeah.
So the wide receiver position is what we're looking at basically this offseason. We want to see how these guys. So far, so good in camp. Everything that we've read, everything we've seen, so far, so good in camp.
But look, one thing I love about your pick too with Brian Edwards is I feel like he's a better match with Carr than Ruggs. Carr's always been a guy. Think back even to his college days when he used to play with Devontae Adams, jump ball kind of guy. And then even early in his career when he was with the Raiders, I know you remember this guy, Andre Holmes, Baby Megatron, big guys that always love to get those deep balls, those 50-50s. That's why Crabtree was so well with Carr. He'll love just to throw it up to him. Brian Edwards is one of those guys, and he fits a lot better with Ruggs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Edwards winds up being better than Ruggs. Like you said, one of them has to hit. I don't care who it is. Somebody just play good.
Somebody do it. We'll go to the defense side of the ball, and we're talking about another couple first rounders. And this is what they were talking about. The first rounders that the Raiders have invested. They've invested picks on the defense, and the defense finally has to hit. You're taking Arnett. I'm taking Abram. I'll let you talk about Arnett, but I am a big Arnett fan.
Look, I'm a big Arnett fan too, man. And number one, with all these guys, just in general, you're going to say it with Abram too. Stay healthy. All these guys need to stay healthy. Abram's been off the field. Arnett's been off the field. Seems like Arnett breaks his freaking wrist every freaking 3 games, it seems like. But I love what he brings to the table. He's a aggressive guy. Ohio State, played in a big conference. He has all the tools to be a good cornerback. Is he locked down? No, I don't think so. But he can be on the other side of a guy like Trayvon Mullen and really be that number 2 guy. And I hope he really does, because this is a guy that we spent the first round pick on. He needs to hit. These draft picks need to turn out good and hit for the Raiders. The only one that has hit is Josh Jacobs. And I love Josh Jacobs, but that's probably the least valuable position on the field is running back, because you can really have anyone out there. You see the Jags with James Robinson. It's like you can get these guys anywhere, undrafted. It don't matter. So I love Josh Jacobs. I still think he's good. That doesn't mean that he's bad. But these other valuable positions, the Clelin Ferrells, the Jonathan Abrams, the Damon Arnett's, these are high first round guys that we've got from the Mac trade or the Cooper trade. These guys need a freaking hit, and they need to be on the field healthy. And Arnett, and like you're going to get into right now, Abram has to be one of those guys.
And Mike said, what about Mullen? There is no Mullen. I have no concern about. I like him. He made a couple mental errors last year, but I like him. I think he's great. We don't have to worry about him. Everyone has no concern for human life when it comes downhill.
That's facts.
Last year he ran into the damn camera well. Remember?
And yeah, I thought he freaking almost died, bro. He wasn't moving. I was so scared.
He ran into the camera, the little truck that carries the camera up and down the sideline. And that's why I put him on my watch list. And I've been talking about this all off season. And the reason I put him on there. They need to reel him back just a little bit. Reel him back because he pisses me off sometimes. I'm not lying. He pisses me off because, yes, he's that high energy, make the big hit, do whatever, fly around the field. But how many times did he get beat doing that crap?
Yeah.
Or he was out of position, and you could tell it was him. And so I think that they're going to what I've read is they brought in like the veteran Casey Hayward, and he's working with them. And you're not hearing a lot from Abram this offseason. And so that's a good thing. You're not hearing a lot of him talking. He's just going to go out there and play. I think the rookie year with Hard Knocks, it built him up a little bit more than what he was. And I think they've reeled him back in. And that's who I'm watching. Stay healthy. Stay in your lane, because I think John Gruden and Mike Mayock are ready to move on from him if he does another season like he has.
Yeah. And then that fifth round, that fifth year option's coming up for a guy like Abram. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he's one of those guys you root for as a Raider fan, because you know that he embodies what the Raiders have always been, that hard-nosed, tough football player that hits hard as hell, like the George Atkinsons and the Jack Tatums. You know, I mean, sorry for you kids out there that don't know who the hell I'm saying, but I know Joe knows. But you know, those are the type of guys that you root for as a Raider fan, bro, because you want him to be that next generation of a good safety. That's why he wears 24, bro. Like, come on.
All the best players have worn 24.
Exactly.
And that's another thing, to go off a little bit off topic. Somebody asked me why did the Raiders retire numbers last week. And I say because the Raiders honor their players, but it's great. And Al Davis always wanted to see the players like wear the same numbers. So like Charles Woodson just went in the Hall of Fame. You're wearing number 24. Now we want to see somebody else wear number 24. And we're always going to remember, hey, Charles Woodson wore that. But also, you know, so that's what they do. And I don't know if you do that. I do the same thing. When I see number 81, I'm like, oh, hey, that's Tim Brown's number, man.
I mean, it tears you apart, bro, when you have like, you know, like trash guys wear some of the greats numbers. Like I know some guys have wore 75 over the past couple of decades since Howie Long. And I'm just like, what a disgrace to wear that number, bro. Like, you know, but I get it. Al Davis was about, you know, play for the front of your jersey, not the back. You know, the team is bigger than the player itself, you know, so that's what Al Davis embodied. Is it a bummer? Is it a bummer that you know, some players are not retired? Yeah, but I mean, they still put them in the Ring of Honor. We still, you know, the Raiders love their former players. I mean, freaking Willie Brown was getting paid from the Raiders for freaking 30, 40 years, bro. Like Al Davis signed him to like a lifetime contract to get paid. Like that's how much we love our past players.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about the Raiders is a lot of people hate on them, but the late great Al Davis did a lot of great things for ex-players, even players that not on his team. You hear a lot of good stories about him going up to ex-players and making sure they're taken care of. Throughout the time. And I don't want to get into a lot of the Al Davis stories, and we might be able to like on another episode, but Raider fans have so much passion. We have so much history in this organization, and that's why I don't get why people hate on the Raiders so much, because just look at the Raiders and how much they've changed the game of football.
Well, some kids just don't understand, Joe. Like, I know, shout out to Same Old Sports. And I'm not saying he's like a little kid, but he's a young dude. You know what I mean? And all his life, he's just known that the Raiders have sucked. You know, some people, if you're from the age of 24 and down, all of you known is that the Raiders have been terrible. They're not anything. But if you know the history of the Raiders and you go back, they're trailblazers at so many things. First Latino head coach, first minority quarterback. You know what I mean? So many firsts at so many things. They're
First
just
female
pioneers at
CEO, right?
they're pioneers of so many things. Not to even mention the man Al Davis is the whole reason why we even have an NFL, because he started the merger with the AFL and NFL. Just simple stuff like that, you know what I mean? And yeah, you can bag on the Raiders. It's all fun. You're sports fans, you know, everyone loves to talk shit. But the people who are unknowledgeable and don't even know about it, that's where I have the problem. You got to school them up on game.
And that's what we have this show for. We're going to be bringing in, like we said, you guys can love us. You guys can hate on the Raiders. We're here and we're going to bring you our thoughts, our opinions week in, week out, every Wednesday on the Warzone Sports Network and the Max and Juancast YouTube page. You guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Send this to all your Raider fans. Send it to all the Raider haters. We don't care. Let them know, because the Raider Nation is here. This is the silver and black allegiance. Juan, you got anything else to add today?
Look, I just want to say a big shout out to Warzone Sports Network. Big shout out to Joe for introducing me to this show, man, having me on with him. It's a great honor, bro. And make sure to subscribe to the Max and Juan cast. Like he said, we do football, we do basketball, little bit less Raider talk. I try to keep it to a minimum because it'll take forever. But that's why I have this show with Joe, bro, so I can get it all out. All right, for 45 to an hour, okay? But and one last thing. Go Raiders.
Hell yeah. Raiders.
Raiders. Yes, sir.